Arron Banks, the millionaire who financed the campaign to leave the European Union, is now turning his attention to the media, and tomorrow he'll be launching a news website called Westmonster.com, owned jointly by a former press officer to Nigel Farage, and they say they will bypass the traditional media and speak directly to voters concerned with issues such as immigration. Our media editor, Amol Rajan, has this exclusive report.
This woman is not your president.
Just screaming failure, screaming weakness.
Alternative news is watched by millions of Americans. Fueled by social media, some of these websites have a bigger following than mainstream networks.
They are complete, pathetic maggots!
Donald Trump openly courted this new media to energize his voter base in last year's election.
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you stay categorical?
You are fake news.
Arron Banks, the man who bankrolled the Leave campaign, was one of the first Brits to meet Mr. Trump after his win.
And what's the 503 billion?
That's the total amount of money we've sent to the EU since we joined up.
Mr. Banks put nearly £7 million into last year's referendum, thought to be the biggest political donation in modern British history. Now Britain's newest media baron is launching an anti-establishment website.
I think the internet and social media has changed the world, and that the mainstream media, however you want to describe it, is lagging a long way behind the way you communicate, and I think we intend to shake things up a bit.
Called Westmonster, the site is co-owned by 27-year-old Michael Heaver. Nigel Farage's former spin doctor wants to bring the viral energy that Mr. Trump harnessed to the UK.
What you've seen obviously is a multitude of different right-wing sites be set up. They've had tremendous success. It shows that there's clearly a demand, and we want to be that in this country. We want to be there speaking to people in a language they understand, in a way they understand, about issues they care about.
3 years ago, nearly 60% of us got our news primarily from newspapers, but that's now fallen to just 35%. And meanwhile, social media has risen from less than a quarter and is poised to overtake newspapers. Before the digital era, most of us got our news from a few generally trusted organisations. But these days, we get our information from wildly different and sometimes unreliable sources. Nowadays, you can find your own facts to suit your own opinions. And for some, that's a threat to all of us. Catherine Viner edits The Guardian. She believes some new forms of media could undermine democracy.
I think citizens need good information to make decisions about their lives and to help them understand the kind of world they're in, and perhaps to help them build the kind of world they want to live in. And without good information, without facts and without public interest journalism, that's just much harder to find.
An alternative news ecosystem is heading to Britain.
These people cannot rule over us!
But in the digital age, the truth is vulnerable. The news once aimed to unite us. Perhaps, thanks to technology, it now divides us instead. Amol Rajan, BBC News.